Stop faking for attention. That's what my sister, Tessa, said as she shoved my 10-year-old son out of her wheelchair. His small body hit the grass hard. The laughter that followed, my parents, my cousins, even Tessa herself, felt louder than the music playing at our family reunion. I didn't move at first. Something inside me went very still, like the world tightened around a single heartbeat. My name is Maren Holt. I'm 32. And sometimes I still wonder, how do people sleep at night after breaking someone so small? My son, Caleb, lay curled on his side, holding his ribs, trying not to cry. He hates crying in public. Always wipes his face with the sleeve of his shirt. Today it was a green one with a tiny ketchup stain from lunch. The same stain I'd meant to scrub out earlier. Get up, Tessa said. He's so dramatic. More laughter. Then someone behind them cleared his throat. A soft, controlled sound. I knew it instantly. Caleb's pediatric neurologist, Dr. Jameson, the man who had been evaluating Caleb for months, the one who agreed to meet me here today because he wanted to observe Caleb naturally. A favor he never owed me. 5 words. That's all he spoke. 5 words that froze the entire reunion. He's not faking. He's fragile. Everything stopped. My mother's smile faltered. My father's beer hovered midair. Even Tessa's hands tightened on her wheelchair wheels, like she wished she could roll backward into the earth. Dr. Jameson stepped forward, adjusting his glasses with the back of his wrist. Your son has a connective tissue disorder. His ribs dislocate easily. Pushing him like that could have punctured a lung. Gasps. Silence. And Tessa's face, red, tight, trembling at the edges. I knelt beside Caleb, brushing dirt from his cheek. You okay, baby? He nodded, whispering. I didn't want to ruin the day. You could have heard a leaf fall. The doctor turned to my family, voice level but sharp as glass. I'll need names of everyone who witnessed and encouraged the shove. Medical reports will reflect it. My sister's jaw dropped, and in that moment, something colder than anger settled inside me, because I knew this was only the beginning. The silence after Dr. Jameson's words felt heavier than the laughter that came before it. My family stood frozen, their picnic plates and plastic cups suspended midair like they were part of some terrible photograph. Caleb clung to me, hiding his face in my shoulder. His small hands were shaking. I kept my voice low. Breathe with me, okay? He nodded, matching my inhale. A tiny, trembling exhale. When I looked up, every eye was on us except Tessa's. She wouldn't meet my gaze. She spun one wheel of her chair with a jittery twitch, the same nervous tick she'd had since high school. My father finally broke the silence. Okay, everyone calm down. It was a misunderstanding. Dr. Jameson looked at him like he'd spoken in another language. A misunderstanding is forgetting someone's birthday. This was assault on a medically fragile child. My mother stepped forward, chin raised. Doctor, with all due respect, Caleb plays sick sometimes. He likes attention. I felt Caleb flinch. The doctor's expression didn't change. Mrs. Holt, I've reviewed his scans. His joints dislocate easier than most kids' open soda cans. Pain isn't attention, it's his reality. My mother took a step back. Tessa finally looked up, her eyes glossy. I didn't know. You all told me he exaggerates everything. Her voice cracked, and for a split second, I saw the scared child she used to be, the one who learned to survive our parents by hurting first. But sympathy only flickered, then died, because Caleb's pain still radiated through my shirt. I stood, holding him close. We're leaving. My father scoffed. Overreacting again, Maren. Dr. Jameson's voice cut clean through the air. If she leaves, I'm leaving with her, to file an incident report. Tessa's breath hitched. My mother paled, and I realized they weren't afraid for Caleb. They were afraid of consequences. Our day wasn't ruined. Theirs was just beginning. We walked toward the parking lot, Caleb still holding on to me like he was afraid the moment he let go, someone else would push him again. Dr. Jameson walked beside us, silent at first, scanning the crowd behind us with the quiet vigilance of someone who'd seen too many families like mine. Halfway to my car, he spoke. He needs to be checked immediately. The way he landed, I'm not convinced his ribs didn't shift. My throat tightened. Okay, we'll go now. When I turned to buckle Caleb into his seat, I heard footsteps, fast, uneven. Tessa's wheelchair rolled up behind me. She wasn't breathing steadily. Her hands shook against the wheels. "Marin, wait." Her voice was small. Too small. I turned slowly. "What do you want?" She swallowed. Hard. I didn't know, nobody told me it was serious. Dr. Jameson didn't let her finish. "You shoved a child, Miss Holt. Whether you knew or not doesn't erase the damage." Tessa flinched. "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my sister." I crossed my arms. My heart was pounding, not with fear, just exhaustion. Years of it. "You mocked him," I said quietly. "You made everyone laugh while he was in pain." Her eyes filled. "I thought he was pretending," Mom said. I stopped her with a raised hand. "Exactly. You listen to them. About everything. Even when it hurts people." Tessa's lips trembled. "Tell the doctor I didn't mean it. Please." I stared at her, really stared. The desperate shine in her eyes. The same sister who once told me in middle school that crying made people weak. "No," I said softly. Her face crumpled. Dr. Jameson cleared his throat. "The hospital will need a statement. Honesty will matter." Tessa wheeled backward, nearly bumping into a picnic table. And as I closed Caleb's door, I felt a strange calm settle into me. Not revenge, not rage, just clarity. My family had crossed a line, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't stepping back over it. The emergency room lights were harsh, unforgiving, almost judgmental, the way they exposed every anxious breath I took while Caleb lay on the exam table. He squeezed a stress ball the nurse gave him, but his fingers couldn't fully close around it. Another reminder of how fragile he really was. Dr. Jameson hovered nearby, arms crossed, eyes sharp. "We'll have results soon," he said quietly. When he stepped out, I brushed Caleb's hair back. "You're being so brave." He whispered, "Did I ruin everything?" It shattered something inside me. "No, sweetheart, they did." A soft knock interrupted us. A woman stepped inside, holding a clipboard and a badge that read Family Services Liaison. My stomach dropped. "Is something wrong?" "We received a call," she said gently. A physician reported possible ongoing medical neglect from extended family members. For a moment, the room tilted. "Neglect?" I repeated. She nodded. "Your son's condition is severe. The fact that his family believes he's faking suggests a harmful environment. We're required to follow up." I sank into the chair. "I've tried. For years. They never listened." She sat across from me. Today may have changed that. Before I could respond, Dr. Jameson re-entered, holding the x-rays. He looked furious. "2 ribs shifted," he said. "One dangerously close to puncturing a lung. He needs stabilizing and observation overnight." My breath caught. Caleb looked up, scared. I held his hand, letting him squeeze as lightly as he could. Then the doctor added, "I've already filed my report. Names, actions, witnesses. I don't tolerate harm to children." The liaison nodded. "We'll contact the individuals involved." The air froze. I imagined the reunion. Plates still half full, drinks still in hand, as officials walked in to ask questions. For the first time all day, I exhaled. Not with relief, with resolve. This wasn't revenge. This was accountability, and it had only just begun. Caleb fell asleep sometime after midnight, his little body curled carefully on the hospital bed, ribs wrapped, monitors humming in a soft, rhythmic pattern. I sat beside him, one hand resting near his, not touching. Contact hurt him today, but close enough he could find me if he woke. A nurse brought me a cup of burnt hospital coffee. "Rough day?" she asked gently. I managed a thin smile, more like a long 10 years. She patted my shoulder and slipped out. That tiny gesture, the humankind people forget to mention, felt like the only softness I'd been shown in hours. AI bait breaker detail. The coffee cup had a faint lipstick smudge on the rim from whoever used it last. It was nearly 1 a.m. when my phone vibrated. Mom. I let it ring. She called again, then again, 6 times in 5 minutes. I finally answered on the 7th. Her voice came sharp and frantic. "What did you do?" "Police came to the reunion. They asked about Tessa pushing him. They took statements. Your uncle said they might call her in for questioning." I leaned back in the chair, staring at the ceiling. "Good. Good," she snapped. "You're tearing this family apart." I lowered my voice. "You tore it apart the moment you laughed when he was on the ground." She went silent, completely. Then came her defense, always the same. "You're too sensitive, Marin. You always twist things." "No," I said. "You minimize them." A door opened down the hall. Nurses switching shifts, voices echoing faintly. Mom's breath came fast through the phone. "Your sister is hysterical," she whispered, as if that mattered more than my son's injury. "She should be," I said. "Marin," she hissed, "fix this. Make the doctor take it back." I almost laughed. "I'm not fixing anything," I said. "Not this time." And before she could reply, I ended the call. A quiet, steady power filled my chest. For the first time in my life, my voice was louder than theirs. Sunrise crept through the hospital blinds, soft and pale, painting long stripes across the floor. Caleb was still sleeping, breathing shallow but steady. I watched the rise and fall of his chest like it was the only thing anchoring me. Around 7 a.m., Dr. Jameson stepped in, holding a folder. "He'll need follow-up care, but he's stable." I nodded. "Thank you for everything yesterday." He hesitated, then said, "There's something else. Family Services asked if you'd be willing to give a full statement today. They said several relatives contradicted each other last night." I felt the first flicker of justice. "Of course," I said. When he left, I stepped into the hallway to stretch my legs. The vending machine hummed beside me as I bought a granola bar. Stale, too chewy, crumbs everywhere. Another tiny imperfection the universe tossed in. As I broke it in half, my phone buzzed. "Tessa." For a moment, I debated letting it ring, but curiosity won. I answered. Her voice was barely a whisper. "They called me in." I didn't speak. They said there were witnesses, that the doctor filed, that Mom told them Caleb exaggerates pain. She swallowed shakily. "They asked if I've ever heard him before." A long pause. Then, "Marin, please, help me." I closed my eyes. Images flashed, Caleb on the ground, his ribs shifting, my family laughing. All the years before that, too, the comments, the dismissals, the eye rolls, every time he winced. "You didn't check on him," I said quietly. "You rolled away." I panicked, she cried. "No," I replied, calm but cutting. "You believed the version of him Mom told you to believe." She sniffed hard. I could lose everything. My heart didn't soften. Not this time. "Tessa," I said. My son almost lost the ability to breathe. Silence. Then, somewhere deep inside her breath, the truth, a tiny, shaky sob. I hung up gently, not out of cruelty, but because this was the first time the consequences weren't mine to carry. And for once, my peace didn't feel guilty. By the afternoon, Caleb was discharged with strict instructions, limited movement, soft breathing exercises, and no pressure on his ribs. I carried his backpack, tucked his favorite blanket around him in the wheelchair the hospital provided, and thanked every nurse on the floor before heading out. The air outside felt different, lighter, cleaner, almost like the world finally understood the weight we'd been carrying. As I opened the car door for Caleb, a black SUV pulled into the lot. My stomach tightened when I saw who stepped out. My parents. Mom marched toward me, determination in every step. Dad followed, jaw clenched. "Marin," Mom said sharply, "we need to talk." "No," I replied evenly. "You need to listen." She ignored that. "Family Services contacted us this morning. They said Tessa could face charges. You have to clear this up." "I'm telling the truth," I said. "And so is everyone else who watched her push him." Dad's voice boomed. It was a joke gone wrong. I looked at Caleb, pale, exhausted, the corners of his eyes still red from earlier. A joke that dislocated his ribs. Mom's voice trembled, not with guilt, but fear. "Do you understand what this could do to us? To the family name?" There it was. The truth behind every cruel decision, every twist of denial. "It's already done," I said quietly. Dr. Jameson stepped out of the hospital doors at that moment, holding discharge papers. He saw my parents, then me, and approached slowly. "Everything all right here?" he asked. Mom plastered on a fake smile. "We were just leaving." But her eyes told a different story, panic swirling beneath the surface. As they walked away, Dad muttered something I wasn't meant to hear. She finally turned on us. And for the first time in 32 years, it didn't sting, because I hadn't turned on them. I'd finally turned toward my son. I buckled Caleb in. He looked up at me and whispered, "Are we safe now?" "Almost," I said softly. And the final piece of our justice waited right around the corner. Caleb fell asleep on the drive home, his head leaning gently against the pillow I'd wedged beside him so his ribs wouldn't shift. The neighborhood was quiet as we pulled into our driveway, sun dipping low, painting soft gold across the porch. Peaceful, the kind of peaceful I'd forgotten existed. I carried his backpack inside, then helped him into bed without waking him. He breathed in tiny, careful puffs. I smoothed the blanket over him, brushing a speck of grass from his hair, the last remnant of yesterday's chaos. An hour later, my doorbell rang. I expected my parents, maybe Tessa, but when I opened the door, two people stood there instead, one wearing a badge around her neck, the other carrying a briefcase. "Ms. Holt?" "Yes. I'm with Family Services. This is Officer Lennox. We're following up on the incident yesterday, and the physician reports filed today." My heartbeat didn't race. My palms didn't sweat. Instead, I stepped aside. "Come in." They sat at the kitchen table, spreading papers across the wood. The officer spoke first. "We interviewed multiple witnesses at the reunion. Their statements match the doctor's report." The liaison added, "We've also received documentation showing a consistent pattern of your family dismissing your son's condition." A familiar heaviness hovered, but it wasn't fear. It was recognition. "We'd like to formally recommend a protective order preventing the individuals involved from having unsupervised contact with your child," she said gently. For a moment, I simply sat there, absorbing each word. A slow, quiet relief unfurled in my chest. Not triumph, not revenge, just safety. "Will this affect my sister?" I asked. Officer Lennox nodded. "She'll receive a notice. She may also be required to attend a mandatory accountability program." A long breath left me. "Thank you." After they left, I stood by Caleb's door, listening to his soft breathing. The house felt fuller somehow, not with people, but with something I'd been missing for years. Control, sanity, peace. I whispered into the dim room, "You're safe now." And for the first time since the reunion, my voice didn't shake. Justice didn't come loudly. It didn't come with shouting or revenge. It came quietly, through truth.